The Aaron Sorkin fan, Chris Roulat there. Welcome back, everybody. All right, top of the hour. Let's get business-like. Okay. What's next?
Good business.
So let me start with the good. Sac State is on a roll.
A heater.
A heater. I love. Now, look, the cynics would say cart before horse. It's a lot of bluster. Is there going to be substance? Look. You got Mike Bibby as your head basketball coach. Their new football coach was a sought-after Division I coach. You got like 4-star recruits coming in, transferring this, that, whatever from SEC schools. Like this is the most excitement. Dare I say, you're the voice of Sac State football. So I will be offended in no way, shape, or form if while I'm saying any of this, you want to pop in and be like, that's not true. I have lived here my whole life, though. I feel like this is the most exciting and buzzy Hornets that Sac State athletics have been. Now they've had some great years,
Absolutely.
Baseball in the World Series and flirting with titles and this and that. Don't get me wrong, but as far as a program goes, and you bring in one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, probably the greatest active sports pitchman. Now, look, Michael Jordan, of course,
right.
But he's not out there pitching.
Right.
Tiger, you've got, but Shaq pitches everywhere. He is a salesman. He is a Barnum and Bailey. He is a Bill Veck. He is a promoter. So you have this huge name recognition, and his son's playing for the team. That's a great connection there. That's obviously not a coincidence. So it's going to do nothing but bring. I'm looking at ESPN's front page right now, and once again, because the Bibby thing was on the front page, once again, front page at ESPN.com, right here at the bottom of the top headline, sources, Shaq agrees to be Sac State's Hoops GM. This counts.
Yeah, the amount of times this program, this university has ended up on the front page news of ESPN in the last 6 months is more than they've ever been.
Yes.
Entirely. So, and my barometer is we're here, we're local, we're very close to the situation. But the amount of people that reached out to me that live in other parts of the country that go, Mike Bibby? ? Like, wow, what a get.
Right.
Same thing yesterday. Shaq, what's his role? What's he going to be? I can't believe you guys got Shaq. So just on without doing a thing yet, the recognition it's getting for the program, I don't think that's the sole reason, but it is getting recognition for the program.
Which is fantastic. My only eyebrow raised is simply if the whole Kings thing had never happened, I would be all in. And I also want to bottom line this with the worst case scenario I'm going to present is still a net win for Sac State. Here's the worst case scenario. The Sac State, Shaq State thing, much like Shaq and the Kings, turns out to be a big nothing burger in substance. It's a voluntary position. He shows up maybe once or twice. Maybe there's a mention on TNT about it. Nothing ever comes to fruition. Maybe he goes to a couple of his son's games, probably. Does a couple of interviews. That's it. Even that is, to be clear, a win. But it's tempering my excitement because in a perfect world, he's active. He's using his network and connections to try to filter guys here. He's helping raise money for NIL.
Right.
He's, dare I say, if they've got a crazy, awesome recruit right on the fence, he's on the, I mean, I don't expect him to be in living rooms, but maybe a call from Shaquille O'Neal if you're on the fence between Valparaiso and Sac State, maybe that. If it's anywhere in between those two things, like I said, no matter what, it's a win for Sac State. There's no downside.
Yeah, I think right now all this stuff in college sports is changing by the minute. The general manager position didn't even exist maybe 2 years ago. So, and by title, just for people out there listening, by title, Dave, Wes Wilcox and Shaquille O'Neal are doing the same job by title. Wes Wilcox left as assistant general manager of the Sacramento Kings to go to the University of Utah basketball program.
Yeah.
He is the GM.
Yes.
Shaquille O'Neal is the GM of the Sacramento State.
That's
Hornets.
right.
I believe Wes Wilcox is getting paid very well. I don't know that personally, but I'm guessing. They have the same position. I don't know that they're doing the same thing. Steph Curry was named the GM of Davidson. Trae Young was named the GM of Oklahoma.
That's right.
This is a thing.
Right.
There are reasons for it. What does it become? And I don't know. Again, with what you said, I don't look at it as a negative, but it's our world now. It's just changing by the day.
And even if it's an honorary,
right,
which is I mean, especially what is Trae Young doing? What is Steph Curry doing?
What is Shaq doing? Yeah.
But again, if it's if you got a really badass recruit on the line, here's my number.
Yeah.
If it's Shaq's going to cut a couple of welcome to Sac State videos,
right,
for the team, if he's going to come in once a year during camp or whatever and do a little TED talk, great.
Yeah, he wouldn't have done that before.
Now, here's what I wonder. Actually, now I'm putting my thinking cap on. Where Shaq would actually be of the most benefit, I think, to the program, might also be the most boring thing. We talked about Shaq's vast network of endorsements. Now, if he can bring some of that endorsement money to the table,
right,
arena sponsors,
absolutely,
all of that, if he can slide some of that money that way, and that money goes directly to NIL, and they start building a nest egg of NIL money with Shaq's presence there,
yes,
that's a big deal.
Well, look, you and I are now, let's put ourselves in, Joe and Jane business person in our community or outlying communities in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So you and I are at our conference tables and we're meeting. We're like, okay, what else can we do for our company? We want more high profile. Then all of a sudden we get approached by Sacramento State. And now all of a sudden we're like, yeah, I've seen these billboards. They get Mike Bibby. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about this football coach. They just had a check. Maybe we need to get involved in this.
Something's happening.
They want to go FBS.
Right.
I think they're trying to build us. You're hearing enough of this stuff. Yeah, let's get involved. And I think that is part of, look, we've talked to President Wood and Josh Wood and others around. Like they're trying to do something big here. And sometimes you got to put all that out there. And I don't think each of these things on their own, I think it's all adding up to something pretty big.
Yeah, I think so. And I think to your point, what we talked about when we had Dr. Wood on, they're using, because again, it's not just Josh Wood or Luke Wood who is at the forefront.
Right. There's
a lot of people we're not mentioning or that you don't know. But I can tell you his brother Josh, former CBS 13 reporter Ben Sasenko, who then went to work for Mayor Johnson and was also, along with guys like Kunal Merchant and Daniel Conway. Again, a lot of names you probably don't know. You mean the Royal U. But were very instrumental in the behind the scenes keeping the Kings here.
Right.
So, as Dr. Wood said, they're using that Think Big playbook, and the Think Big Kings playbook, if you will, and really just kind of the old, what is it? You throw your cap over the wall to commit.
Right.
Yeah, and now you're going to climb that wall. I love what they're doing. I need you on that wall because ultimately, what's the downside? They're already winning. Worst case scenario. This doesn't work out. That doesn't work out. They don't get to this league. They don't get to. Okay.
Yeah.
They're further than they've ever been.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah. What's Dion going to do at Colorado? That's just a name. Well, watch him. Right. He's done some pretty good things, and then we'll see over time where that ultimately goes. But sometimes you need that kickstart of a name to get your program going.
That's exactly right. And on the other side, I don't know the program well enough. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'll just bet you St. Bonaventure is in a better position right now than they were a year and a half ago before they hired Adrian Wojnarowski, which Woj isn't Shaq.
Right.
But he's insanely connected. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if he wanted to, at some point now or later, Shams Charania could make the same move.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Stein could make this. Hell, Sam Amick might be able to. When you have those connections, that's gold.
Yeah.
In this NIL world. What if they take sports radio hosts? I got a couple of numbers.
Right.
We'll take a break when we come back. Just a 30-second break here. 3 for Madness. Dame, the Bucks, the Kings, and Bam Adebayo. This is all Kings related, by the way. We'll talk about it next.
On the move, guts.